What's going on, Raiders? Doolem here, and today we're going to be talking all about the clan boss, specifically Demon Lord, because I feel like I have started realizing what works best against the Demon Lord. I know, took me a while, but that's okay. I'm sure some of you guys are still struggling with it and wondering how you can get a higher damage on it every single time and be consistent with it as well. So we're going to talk all about that and what I'm using so you can tailor it to your roster, because obviously everybody's roster is different in Raid, which is one of the great things about it. Everybody's roster is different. My roster looks different. Your roster looks different, and it's all beautiful. Don't forget that. Size doesn't matter. That's right, everybody. All right, before we get too off track, let's talk about my download link down in the description. That's right. If you click that link and start off your account the right way, you're going to be kicking it off with Eleanor, who's a legendary nuker with HP burns as well as HP poisons, and a way to detonate those poisons. Then at level 15, you're going to be unlocking Tagore, who's an epic support with a team-wide revive, as well as a team-wide increased speed. And at level 30, which is also going to be day one probably, you're going to be unlocking Ugo, who's another fantastic epic support champion. Then day one, you want to make sure you are typing in promo code. That's right, promo code, free goodies for Sun Wukong, and you want to type in promo code Monkey King for that one. And if you're on iOS, you want to make sure you are clicking a different link in the description to type in any promo codes for iOS. So let's get into it. Let's go into Clan Boss, specifically Demon Lord. That's right. So I have recently upgraded to Nightmare, and I can do Nightmare as long as the affinity is in my favor. So today, since we have red affinity, I cannot do Nightmare because most of my team, especially the damage dealers, are going to be magic, right? And you see in the top middle here that magic is a lot weaker into that red affinity. So I cannot do Nightmare on days like this, but I have finally upgraded to Nightmare on every other day. So when I am doing Nightmare, it's either going to be the green affinity or it's going to be Void or even the blue affinity as well. Does not matter. I could do all of those except for the red one. So you want to make sure you're looking at your team and seeing which affinities they're going to work best into. So you see, obviously, I have Alice, who is my main damage dealer. Kale, who's going to be doing a bunch of poisons, so he needs very high accuracy and would need even more accuracy if the affinity is not in his favor to land those poisons. Ugo, who's also blue affinity, needs to land debuffs. Make sure Ugo is surviving as well, because that's going to be the healer I have. And then when it comes to Supreme Gaelic, who I used getting with a promo code, that is Void, so he does not get affected. And then for Lysandra, it doesn't matter for Lysandra because Lysandra is there just for utility. So she's going to be there for speed because of her aura, so increase ally speed in all battles by 24%. And she's also there for her A3, which increases ally speed and also gives turn meter. And then her A1 is actually really good in Clan Boss as well. Her A2 is not the best because she can't rewind she can't rewind the Clan Boss, so that's fine. But she's mainly there for utility, so it doesn't matter if her affinity does work well into the red one. She's not doing damage. She's not putting out negative effects other than her A1, which is the negative effect transfer, but that's neither here nor there. So I need to make sure the main crux of my team is going to be able to do well into this. And that's where you can start building multiple teams depending on what day it is, right? So like if I had a character like Geomancer who is in the green affinity, I could use Geomancer here instead of maybe like Kale. And Geomancer would do really well into the red affinity. I don't have Geomancer yet. I'm not as lucky as some other people. Looking at you, Cat. That's right. Cat's got like 5 of them. Just collecting them like infinity stones. It's ridiculous. That's a friend of mine who makes content on this game as well. She's great. You probably know her. So yeah, the first thing is you're going to be looking at the affinity. The second thing about Demon Lord is going to be speed is key. and it is gonna be the main thing that keeps you doing more damage a lot faster. So we're going to go into a brutal battle here. You see it's a green affinity, so, and I have magic obviously, so we're going to come in here and we're going to start running it, and you're going to see how important speed is. So every time he takes a turn, he's going to be doing more and more damage because of the passive here, Gathering Fury. So starting from the 10th turn, the damage inflicted by all skills increases each turn. The damage increases by the same percentage each turn, accumulates over multiple turns. Starting from the 20th turn, damage is increased by a greater amount. So your goal is to do the most amount of damage within the smallest amount of turns, unless you have like an Undying build where you're going in and you're like, wow, I can stay alive forever because I have block damage, I have revives, all the good stuff, right? So you see I did the A3 with Lysandra, who puts that increased ally speed out there as well as increased turn meter. And then what I'm doing is I'm starting to feed into my mastery tree. So the A1 from Alice will continually do more and more damage the more times she uses it, as well as she's decreasing defense as well. And you'll see Supreme Gaelic is doing the same thing. So you see Kale was able to land those poisons from his A3. Now for the A2, Ugo, I want to put some decreased defense and block buffs out there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do the A2 with Supreme Gaelic here because he's decreasing defense for each hit. And again, that's part of his mastery tree. So you want to kind of feed into your build, and you see boss turn count 1. So now I want to keep using the A1 because it's going to continually do more damage the more time Alice is using it. And you want to kind of feed into how your build works. Now I obviously don't want to use the cleanse from Ugo because I don't need it right now. I don't have any negative effects on me. So you need to make sure you're tailoring it to your build. And as this goes, I'm going to throw it on auto now as I'm talking. As this goes, now you see some negative effects are put out there, right? Now, what I could do is Ugo cleanses those off of Kale. Lysandra cleansed them off herself because of the A1, transfers the negative effects. Obviously, it doesn't transfer to the Demon Lord because you can't affect his speed, but it still gets it off of her. So the goal here is, again, to do the most amount of damage possible. So making sure you have a speed aura character in the leader position is super, super important and something you really, really want to have, especially if it's a speed aura character, and you got to make sure it's a character that affects it in clan boss or just everywhere. So something like Sun Wukong won't help you here because he only does it in arena. So you want to make sure you're picking a character that does it in either all modes or in clan boss, which I'm not sure if there's actually one that does it only in clan boss. You guys could let me know because I actually don't know the answer to that or not. But I did get very, very lucky with Lysandra. Don't get me wrong. I got very, very lucky being able to pull her. She's one of the highest aura in all areas character, which is really, really awesome. So I got very lucky. Make no mistake about it. And that's a lot of this game is luck, but that's where a lot of the fun comes from. If you haven't seen that Ancient Shard opening video, make sure you go check it out because it was a hype one. But you see here, I am getting the most amount of damage, and he's still not on turn 10 yet. And the second he puts out those decreased speeds, Ugo cleanses those. So you got to kind of play with it a little bit and see how your team works and see if they are using their abilities at the right time. So you could tweak the speed as well of each of your characters to be able to kind of play with it a little bit to make sure Ugo is not being dumb and using the cleanse right before the clan boss puts out all those negative effects, right? So you want to make sure you are kind of tailoring it to your needs because the speed is going to be different. Obviously, if you have an aura in there, it's going to be different as well. And literally tweaking this, I went from like 7 million damage on what you're seeing now, brutal, to I'm already at almost 9 million damage, and he only just now got that extra boss turn count to 10, which means he's doing that extra damage from that passive that we talked about in the beginning. So making sure you can tailor this to your roster is super, super important. Now, I know all of us have Kale because that's going to be the starter that pretty much everybody picks because of the poison damages right away, which is great. You're also going to have those HP burns as well as those poisons from Eleanoril because you're using my download link. So you're going to have 2 poisons, 2 burns right off rip, which is great. So you're going to have those working in your favor, which are absolutely insane against the clan boss because they do % max HP, and you'll see some of the poisons and the bleeds do like 50,000 damage, 100,000 damage, which is awesome. and that's going to hit very, very hard. So you see I'm up to 12 million damage almost already, and I do have a PvE build on some PvP characters. So like Alice is mainly used in PvP, right? I do have a PvE build on her right now because I am using her in PvE content. But the second that changes, I'm going to end up using her and changing her masteries around and changing her blessing up to more of a PvP style blessing, because then I'm going to be using her only in PvP content, right? In like arena and live arena and stuff like that. So, but for right now, build for PvE. And the way you know how to build for PvE is make sure you're looking at hellhades.com so you can see the best PvE build for each character that you have, and you can see which sets, which artifacts, which stats you want to focus on each character. It's an absolutely invaluable resource that helps you out so much, and it's something that I've been using that has been helping me out and literally doubling my clan boss damage. I went from like 8 million all the way up to 15 million the second I started using a lot of these tips, and now I'm at a point where on these off days where I can't do Nightmare, right? I'm almost one keying Brutal. So one key on Brutal is at 21.7 million, and I just got 15.4 million. So what I could do here is do one more key on Brutal, and then what I'll end up doing is I'll actually go into Nightmare, and I'll manually and watch the fight go to see where my team is struggling, so I can see like if I have a resistance of an accuracy issue, right? So if my Kale and my Supreme Gaelic are not landing their burns and their poisons, I know I have an accuracy issue, and I can continue working on that accuracy and seeing where my pitfalls are. Or if I'm just dying before, you know, I'm getting to a certain point because I'm just taking so much damage, I know that maybe, hey, I need to change up my team a little bit and use a team that has better affinities. And affinities are not everything, right? So you can even look at what your alliance mates are using as well. And I think that was one of the biggest tips that I picked up was, you see what my alliance is, my clan is using, right? So you see Nohaz here. Even though we're on the red affinity, he's using blue affinity with like Kale and another character here, which I don't know if this is a damage dealer or not. I'm assuming not. I think that's a support character. But the main damage dealer is going to be that red affinity, as well as another one for green affinity. And you can see that the damage dealer really needs to be a favorable affinity. So that's going to be my next kind of goal, and it's a goal that I can't really control, is getting a good clan boss damage dealer of each of the affinities. Obviously, I always have Supreme Gaelic, who's void and doesn't get affected by it, but I definitely need to get a green affinity damage dealer and a red affinity damage dealer so I can make sure I maximize my damage in clan boss, and I can just rotate out that damage dealer. Keep the same support characters, maybe rotate out Ugo if I get a better support character that might be either green or red affinity on days that the affinity changes, and make sure I'm tailoring it to each day. And I think that's one of the best parts about this clan boss is the affinity changes. So it is the same clan boss, the same fight, right? But the affinity changing means it changes every single day. And that makes Demon Lord so fun because technically you have to make 3, 4, 5 builds for Demon Lord based off of the rotating affinity, and I absolutely love that, and that's one of the many reasons why I've been having so much fun on Raid Shadow Legends. So if you are on the fence about downloading this game, this is your time to do it. Don't wait any longer. This is the time to do it. I'm having so much fun with this, and I am literally looking forward to logging into this game every single day. So use that download link down below. Make sure you get Eleanoril Day 1 Legendary Nuker, Tagore Epic Support, Ugo Epic Support, and then promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong. And use these clan boss tips to progress your account super far, super fast, and impress everybody in your clan. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, Raiders.